Today we're going to be talking about exterior and interior wall finishes for your container home. Right behind me is a 20-foot container that we're finishing up. It is going to be going on top of a 40-foot container that we have. We're doing a whole community in Oklahoma. And for this one, we went with cedar plank siding on the exterior. Now, in order to do this on a container home, you do need to be strategic with how you're going to install these. So we actually put furring strips in between every other valley of the container. We used 2x3 exterior grade wood. Those got installed and screwed into the container. And then from there, those are functioning as furring strips. We're now attaching our wood siding. Now I want to show you how it turned out on some of the other units as well. So right here is the downstairs section to the container home. It's actually the 40-foot container. So the 20-footer goes right up top with a 20-foot rooftop deck. And we continued that wood siding all the way down. So we came all the way down to just about 7 inches off the ground, and we're running it all the way up, and we'll do a little transition piece between the two containers. Now, one thing that we did that's kind of interesting is when we went to do our windows and our doors, instead of using 2x2 tube steel, we did 2x3 tube steel. We had it extend out on the exterior an extra inch so that all these pieces of wood siding terminate at the windows. This just gives it a cleaner look, and we didn't have to find out a way to then kind of finish it out and trim it out. Now, cedar wood siding is a good option for a couple of reasons. One, it's relatively affordable compared to some higher grade woods. And two, it's pretty durable. So in most climates, this is going to work out pretty well. This is going to Oklahoma, where it is more of a moist climate, so these will be good in that location. Now, if you're in something like Vegas, where we're building this right now, I wouldn't recommend this type of siding. There is another siding that is more expensive, but it's a better option for climates like this, so let's check that out. Now, right here is an A-frame we're currently working on. I want to show you this just to show you this siding. This right here is called thermery wood. So it's a type of wood that has gone through a process that extracts all the sugars from it. This allows it to be a good product for even dry climates like Vegas. So it's not going to end up warping and bending. You do need to refinish it annually, but if you're in a hot climate and you want a nice wood look on the exterior, this is a good option. If you want a siding that's good in the heat, but you want something that's both affordable and it's low maintenance, you're going to want to consider doing something like cement board siding. So right here is an office that we have here at the yard, and this is actually a hardy plank siding. So these are about 10-inch planks here. They're cement-based product. This thing has been out in the heat for the last 3 years, and you can see like it basically looks flawless. So if you want a cool siding, you can paint it any color. It's affordable, it's easy to install. And if you're in a desert-like climate, that could be the way to go. Now, when it comes to the interior finishes that you use for your walls, there's a variety of options you can select from. In these units that we're doing for the container home community, they wanted all shiplap interior walls. So we went with MDF shiplap for all the walls, the side walls, partition walls, ceiling, and it's an okay option. I'd say it's nice if you like more of this type of a look. There is more expense than some other options, and there is more labor involved in it because you're manually installing every single board. You're also going to come through at these points as well. We're going to come through and put some caulking over the nail holes just to make sure everything looks nice and clean. But the benefit of it is it gives it a really nice, rich, and even kind of like homey or Chip and Joanna Gaines type of feel. Now, I want to show you inside of one of the 40s. We actually did wood beams as well that really pop on this kind of material. So we actually custom made these wood beams. If you look at them here, we actually charred them. So we burnt them. We ended up beating them with chains and axes and all kinds of stuff to just give it that really rustic industrial type of look. And what I love about it is just the way they pop off the white. So this is a great thing you can add to the interior of a container home. It's not super expensive to do it, and it adds a lot of value. Now, there is one more thing I'd like to show you here. It's covered up right now as they're about to paint, but right here, we did an accent wall on the inside with that same type of siding. So that is something you can incorporate just to break it up. Now, I want to show you another option that you can use for the interior. Two other options, actually, that are going to be a little bit more affordable. Now, in this container, we just went with a smooth finish drywall for all the interior walls. And then you can see here, we didn't do any kind of special trim out on the windows. We just terminated the drywall right at each of the windows. The door will end up getting some trim. But the nice thing about doing drywall on your interior is it's more cost effective. You can get a sheet of drywall very affordably. It's also easier to hire help in that area. There's a lot of people that do drywall for their career, so they're drywalling homes all day, every day. So they're able to do a small space like this 20-foot container very quickly and very affordably. A cheaper option than using drywall would be using something like this. This is just 1/4-inch plywood. In order to do this and have a strong enough backing though, you do want to space out your studs about 16 inches on center. If you go to 24 inches, you'll really be able to actually push in your wall. Now this is an example of leaving it raw. This may be a good application for more of a cabin kind of feel if you're going for that, or more of a construction office. This right here is our break room, and so wall paneling like this is cost effective and still gives it kind of the look and feel that someone may want. So this definitely here is good. Now you do have the option where you could actually paint this as well. We're gonna pop in another office. I'm gonna show you an example of this same wall finish, but painted. So inside this unit, we use that same material actually on our ceiling, and it got painted. Now, I gotta be honest, it doesn't have the highest quality look to it, but for those of you that you're just trying to create a living space, maybe you're not concerned about it being an architectural digest, but you just need something functional, 1/4-inch plywood, leaving it raw or painting it could be an effective option. Now, I do wanna throw in a bonus option, okay? We talked about shiplap, but there are other versions of shiplap that you can use. So instead of going with something like this, which is that white MDF shiplap, you could end up going with just traditional wood shiplap, and either just keeping it more raw, putting a stain on it, or doing a unique finish. So I'm gonna show you 2 examples of that as we wrap up. So when it comes to shiplap, if you went with the MDF shiplap, usually it'll come primed. It comes in white. If you're gonna paint it white, that makes things very simple, or you can paint it a different color. When you're choosing a wood shiplap, you're gonna get a lot more grains like this, right? You're gonna have knots in it. You can see here, we went with a little bit more of a whitewash feel on this wall. On this wall, same type of wood, but we went with a painted feel. So you can see the difference from the other shiplap. It's not a smooth finish. You still have knots in here and things like that. So if you're going for more of that real smooth painted look, go with the MDF. If you like a little bit more of that texture and rustic feel, go with a traditional wood. And then the last example will be another version of this, but where the wood is actually stained. So here's an example of going with more of a wood shiplap. You can get it in cedar or in pine, and it gives it a nice rustic look. For those of you that are going for more of that cabin feel, this could be a really good option. We're not in a container right now, but just wanted you to be able to see what you can do. You can go with a simple clear coat on it, or you can go with a stain and give it a little bit of a darker feel as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video as we discussed exterior and interior walls. Now, I do have a special gift for you. For those of you that stuck till the end, we do have a free training on how you can build your own container home. Go ahead and click the link in the information below. It'll take you to that program. It's about an hour long. It's gonna give you some of our biggest secrets on how we do what we do, and I'll see you in the next video.